So last year I had an accident where someone hit my car and it was total. I received the money from their insurance company and started looking for a decent used car. Back in 2016, I bought my previous car from Craigslist. So I initially thought to look there again. However, it felt completely different this time. It seemed like people are not using the website anymore. Then I discovered Facebook Marketplace. There were many used cars listed, but finding the right one was challenging. After a lot of research, I finally figured out the trick and bought my used car. So in this video, I will share with you my secrets on how to find the best used car on Facebook Marketplace. I will also walk you through all of the steps I took to buy my car. So let's jump to the Facebook Marketplace on my laptop and I will explain the process. So this is the Facebook Marketplace. And then here the step one is that you need to set up filters and then refresh it every day. There are many filters, but we're gonna go through the more important filters first. So first things first, on the ownership, you're gonna choose individual because you don't want to buy from dealers because dealers typically make 10%, 5 to 10% money on a used car. So click on individual. And then for the pricing, I'm just gonna leave it because it depends on your budget. Let's say I'm gonna look for a Toyota RAV4, a hybrid Toyota RAV4. So I know that the redesign happened in 2019, so I'm gonna put the minimum year to be 2019. And just bear in mind that the best used cars are typically 2 to 5 years old. So 2020, 2019 are probably the best choices to get the used cars. So the minimum year 2019, make, I want it to be Toyota. Model, I want it to be RAV4 hybrid. And then the mileage. So mileage is really important because you don't want to buy a car that has too much mileage on it. Typically for every year, a car shouldn't have run more than 12,000. So if it's a car for 2019, that means that it is 6 years old. If you can see on my screen, we're almost in 2025. So a car from 2019 maximum should go 6 years times 12,000. So maximum 72,000 miles. So I'm going to put here maximum 72,000 miles. For the body style, obviously SUV. And then here the vehicle history. Unfortunately, these filters, I found it, they don't work quite right now. Maybe in the future when you are watching this video, maybe it works at that time, but right now it doesn't work. Some of these filters are nice, like if you can find a car with only one owner, that is perfect. But then you're gonna, if you check this filter, you're gonna miss some of the good cars with 2 owners. So I'm not gonna check any of these filters for now. Exterior color, that depends on you. Transmission type, automatic. The RAV4 is not selected, RAV4 hybrid. So as you can see, I don't have any options. So let's see what we did wrong here. So I figured this out. So basically what I did this time was that I just cleared the body style and all of the RAV4s, they just showed up. This is why I'm telling you that some of these filters, they just don't work sometimes. So once you set up this filter, you're gonna keep this page and do not close it, okay? So every day you're gonna just refresh. On the mobile app, whether it's Android or iPhone, you can save the filter. Here, you cannot save the filter, or at least I don't know how to save the filter. So that's step one. You're going to set up the filter and refresh every day. Step two is to block dealers. One of the filters on our search is to find cars from individuals, but unfortunately still you can find the cars from dealers. So let's just open this one, right click and choose open in new tab because I don't want to lose my main page. Let's see if this is a dealer or not. So some of the signs of a dealer is that typically the cars don't have a plate number, and you can also check their Facebook profile. So let's just look at this car. As you can see, there is no plate number on this car. So chances are the seller is a dealer. Now let's just check his profile to just double check. Okay, so we're gonna go to his profile and just scroll down, and you can see he has listed many cars on his profile. That means that he's a dealer. So nothing wrong with this guy. I'm sure he's a decent human being and this is his job. He makes money, but I'm just not interested. So this is the secret. This is the secret that I was talking about. So you're going to block the dealers. Okay, so I'm just going to right click on this three dots and then click on block and just block this person. So after you block, you are not going to see his posts or his advertisements again. So you're going to do this step of blocking dealers like every day or every post that you click on. Okay, so we just blocked one dealer. We're going to click on, let's say, this car. This is probably also a dealer, just because I can tell you from just the fact that there is no plate number. So I'm just going to click on this. Let's just double check. Let's see the pictures. Yeah, there is no plate number. Let's look at the profile. Let's scroll down. As you can see that this person, he has listed a lot of cars. So again, nothing wrong, but we're just not interested. So we're just going to block this person. And bear in mind that, yeah, this person now is blocked and his advertisement won't show up in my feed again. So bear in mind that I put my filter as 500 miles just for the demonstration for this video. Your radius should probably be somewhere around 50 to 100 miles, so you won't see a lot of dealers. So you're going to do this every day. Okay, you're going to block the dealers and then refresh this web page every day. Okay, so after you find a car that doesn't belong to a dealer, we're going to do some initial investigation. Now I found this car on Facebook Marketplace. It's a little bit strange. It's been listed 14 weeks ago, so you also need to pay attention to these numbers. So it's just a little bit strange, but let's just pretend that this car has been listed, last week or 2 weeks ago. And let's just do some initial investigation. Now, what I mean by initial investigation is that you're going to check for things like the car title. You don't want the car title to be salvage because you cannot do Uber with it, or you cannot do DoorDash with it, or when you want to sell your car, it's going to be harder, or the insurance cost will be higher. Then you're gonna check for the clear signs of accidents, dent, and rust. So look at just some of these pictures. I mean, it looks okay. Also pay attention that there might be rust underneath the car. That kind of rust can be spotted by a professional mechanical. Okay, so that's a very last step before you buy the car. We'll get to that step later. But like I mentioned, clear signs of accident, dents, and rust. And number 3, you're gonna check that this is not an Uber driver. What I mean by Uber driver is, look at the car. It's a 2022 car and we're in 2025. So this car can be maximum 3 years old, and this car should have gone 36,000 miles. Okay, so as you can see here, it has 60,000 miles on it in 3 years. So that means that this car has been driven more than it should. Okay, so whether they did it for their job, it could be an Uber driver, could be just someone who loves traveling, whatever that is, me personally, I'm not interested. 60,000 miles is too much for me. So step 4, after you found a car that doesn't belong to a dealer and it passes the initial investigation, you're gonna check the price, okay? So the best way, in my opinion, to check the price is to go to the Carfax and find a similar car and take down 5 to 10% of the price. So let's just do that. Let's go to Carfax and we're gonna go find a used car. I want it to be Toyota model RAV4, minimum, so that was 2022, so 2022, and let's just hit next here. Let's go back to this car. Is it one owner? It doesn't say one owner, so it's just excellent condition. So for the sake of this video, let's just say that we're going to find the best used car 2022, and I guess we need to also mention somewhere here that we want it to be hybrid, so fuel type hybrid. The color, the exterior color is blue, and then so we're just going to take off the first owner because we don't know, and just leave it as is and just get some ideas. So we have this one 2024, but let's just go price. We're gonna find 2022, so I'm going to increase the mileage to the radius to, let's say, 500. Let's see if we can find a 2022 light blue, or I don't know, whatever the name of this color is. But you can see this one 2022, it has 15,000 miles on it, 33,000 to owner. So let's go back to this one. This car has a high mileage, $29,000. So also, like I mentioned, so this is a dealer's price. So you're going to get the price that the dealer itself they bought. So how you're going to do this is you take the price 33,000 and you're going to do times 90%. Because dealers typically make 10% on a car. So this dealer bought the car for $30,000 and they're selling it for $33,000 and almost 500. 29,000 seems to be a bit high to me for a car with 60,000 miles on it, but this is just something that you need to do research. As you do your research and you are locked, you're focused in one specific car, you will understand which price makes sense. This is not apple to apple match, unfortunately, because we don't know yet this car, if this car has ever been into any accident or if this is a one owner. You're gonna ask these questions from the seller. So before we go to step 5, I just wanted to add that instead of Carfax, you can also check Carvana, CarMax, and CarGurus. Okay, so step 5 is about talking to the seller and asking questions. So you're going to start a conversation with the seller and you can ask many questions, but some of the most important questions you can ask are, first of all, you can ask how many owners does the car have if it's not listed here. Another question that you should ask is, has it ever been involved in an accident? So I know you can check this in Carfax, but if you can ask this from the seller right away, it can save you a lot of times. And then finally, is there anything wrong with the car? Majority of the people, they are honest people and they may say, oh, we just changed the engine. Okay, I'm not interested. So you just don't be afraid to ask. and see what they say. And then finally ask them, why are they selling the car? Maybe they are moving to a new state, or maybe they're moving to a new country. When I bought my car, the seller, she was moving to Australia, and she said that she's selling everything. I double checked her statement. She said that she has put even his house for sale, and I double checked it on Zillow, and she was right. So it just built a trust for me, a little bit of trust. On step 6, you're going to get the Carfax. Now you can ask the Carfax directly from the owner. If they have, that's great. If not, you can get the Carfax yourself. Now if you go to the carfax.com, I'm sure it's expensive. When I was buying the car, it was around $40 or $50 for one report. But then I found a trick. I found a person who sells the Carfax reports for $5. Okay, so that's it. That's another trick. You can Google it. You can Google it on the internet. So dealers, I believe that they have unlimited Carfax package. So they just pay a monthly payment. I don't know how it works, but I believe they have unlimited number of reports that they can get. So if you can find a dealer that you pay him, that's perfect. You can search it on Reddit and just ask around, see if you can find a person who can sell you the reports for a cheap price. If not, you can also buy the Carfax package with your friends and just share the cost. Step 7 is about analyzing the Carfax. So here I have 2 Carfax reports. Both of these cars are mine, so I know pretty much everything about them. So there are many things that you can check on a Carfax. My main criteria are, number 1, maximum 2 previous owners. So as you can see here, this is my previous car. I was the second owner. When I bought the car, it had only 1 owner, so I bought it from the first owner. This is my current car. It had 2 owners. When I bought the car, I am the 3rd owner. Another thing you need to check in a Carfax is no accident or damage reported. So if you look at my car, 2009 Corolla, it got totaled. Someone hit me from the back. So it says a total loss. So this Carfax is after the fact, okay? Before it got total, obviously it was a clean title. But it's a salvage, right? So it says total loss. But this car, the RAV4, it has a minor damage. If it says moderate or severe damage or total loss, I will just move on. This is not my car. If it says minor damage, I will go to the report and see where the damage has occurred. Okay, right here. So it's on the back, okay? I also asked the seller one of those questions that I mentioned in step 5. I asked her that, has it ever been involved in an accident? And she said yes, someone hit her from the back, but it wasn't a really bad damage. It was just minor damage. And I was okay. If the damage is on the front or somewhere near the engine, I'm not interested. Another thing to check is you're gonna buy a car that is a personal car, that has been a personal car, no rental car. So if you go here, it should say if it's a rental or a personal car. Let's go to my Corolla. Here it says personal vehicle. Typically it says if it's a personal or if it's a rental. I need to find it, but on my RAV4 it should say here. If it doesn't say, you can also look at the history, and if you see a name of a rental car company, it should tell you that this is a rental car, which in my opinion you shouldn't buy that. Also, you need to check the odometer with the Facebook ad. So when you get this report, it says the odometer, the last reported odometer. Let's say this one says 76,000 and I talk to the seller and they're like, oh, the odometer of my car is 60,000. Obviously there's something wrong here. they might be lying, unfortunately. The last thing you should check, in my opinion, is check the ownership history. Why is someone selling their car, for example, after 2 months? That's a big question for me. And how you can say that, how you can find it, if you go here to the next page, see the owner of my car, the previous owner, she bought the car in 2018 and then she sold me. So she was the owner for almost 6 years. So that means that she's been using the car without any problems. If they just bought the car 2 months ago and now they want to sell it, okay, to me that's a big question. Why are they selling the car? Maybe there is something wrong with the car. So please pay attention to that. Once again, here you can also see the estimated miles driven per year. You can spot an Uber driver here. Nothing wrong with Uber drivers. I'm just saying that if someone drives the car for Uber, there is more wear and tear. That's what I'm trying to say. But also it doesn't necessarily mean that they are Uber driver. They might be just traveling. Maybe their job is, I don't know, like 2 hours away from their home and they need to drive every day. So that's why you need to ask the seller. So after you check the Carfax and everything looks okay, now you want to set up a time with the seller to see the car in person. When you arrive there, you make sure that you drive the car a little bit and just do some initial tests. See if there is any weird noise or if there is a smell you don't like. Yeah, just do some initial screening, whatever you know. You don't need to be professional, but just sometimes when you drive, it makes a weird noise. You just move on. Now, one important trick here. If they tell you that there is a problem with this light or with this tire, it's just a $50. You can just fix it yourself. Do not believe in that. When they tell you this, just say that go fix it and then come back to me. If it's just only a $50 fix, why haven't you fixed it? Step 9, I talked to the owner about the price. I'll try to get a discount to see if they can lower the price. When you go in person, just being there, people give you discount most of the time. Even if they say over the text here on Facebook Marketplace that, oh no, there is no price negotiation. When you get there, just ask. You will be surprised at how many times you can get a discount. So after you come to an agreement on the price, you're going to take the car to a mechanic. This is really important. You're paying a $20,000 or $30,000 for a car. You should be okay paying $150 or $100 or $200 for an inspection, a professional inspector. You can either take the car to a mechanic or call one of these mobile car mechanics. So if you go to the Google Maps, here if you just search car mechanic near me, it will give you a lot of options. Okay, take advantage of this. You just make a call and they come pretty quick. You don't need to even move the car. They come to you and they check the car for you. There are many things that you may not know. For example, underneath the car, if there are rust, they will tell you. Or if there's a problem with the axle, how are you going to know? Or with the engine, sometimes you check the engine and you see that the screws have been replaced. Okay, that's just a sign that the engine might have been replaced. So after you got the car inspected, now it gets to the payment and registration. These two steps are pretty straightforward. For the payment, the person on the title, in the USA at least, their name should match the ID of the seller. So before you pay them any money, you should check the seller's ID and the title of the car so that their names matches. And then you can give them their money and then they will give you the title. Obviously, you also need to double check the VIN number on the title. The VIN number of the car, you can find it in many places. On the windshield, it can also be on the door handles too. And then for the registration, Typically, you go to the DMV in Texas, they call it DPS. If I'm not mistaken, you need to get insurance before getting your car registered and inspection too. Okay, that is it for this video. It takes some time to find a good car using this method because you have to block dealers one by one. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if you have any comments and I will see you in my next video.